For assignment 2, I've chosen to do my vodcast on former Australian rules footballer Robert Harvey. His biography is titled Halves, Strength Through Loyalty. Is one of my favourite books of AFL biographies. The justification as to why I decided to do my assessment on this book. Firstly, I am an extremely passionate AFL person, and I support the St Kilda Football Club where Robert Harvey played 383 games wearing the number 35. I just love watching him play the game, as he was terrific with ball in hand, and his running ability was phenomenal. Along with this, his resilience always captured my attention. To play at the elite level for that long is a real credit to him and his family. So we'll have a look at his early life and connection with sport. Robert Harvey was born and raised in Seaford on Melbourne's southern peninsula and was an extremely talented sports person from the beginning. In terms of sport delivery systems, I believe that they are the surrounding and connected organisations that assist and provide athletes with the opportunities to compete at all ability levels in sport, whether it be amateur or elite. Locally, things like schools and local sporting clubs play an essential role and provide the tools and fundamentals for sporting growth, and we will analyse these throughout the vodcast. Now we will have a look at education. As mentioned earlier, Harvey was born and raised in the Seaford area. Education was also an integral part of his sporting future, and these bodies cannot be forgotten when we discuss sports delivery systems. Belvedere Park Primary School, located in Seaford, and John Paul College, located in Frankston East, were the chosen schools for the Harvey family. Close in proximity to the family home, but there is no real reason behind this, such as an AFL program or scholarship. The local clubs were certainly the backbone that started this success for Robert Harvey. We have the Seaford Tigers, in which he played his junior football for, and the Baxter Cricket Club. Although this is irrelevant to AFL, it's still present in Robert Harvey's sport growth and development. These clubs are an example of grassroots sports delivery systems. After strong connections to representative teams as a junior, Harvey would play with many teams such as rep sides and Victorian state teams. The competition has adapted since Robert Harvey's junior days, but we hear the term Teal Cup Under-17s mentioned several times in the chapter First Contact with the Saints. This sports delivery system was a talent identification side. Essentially, the best players from these matches were given further opportunities. It is now called the TAC Cup, and this association has a crucial relationship with the AFL and its drafts. We also see Harvey recall playing for the Vic Country side, the best players from junior country football. This is another vital element into Harvey's developing into an AFL footballer. St Kilda, when going through a recruiting process, look at this team and go from there and select the best players, in this case, Robert Harvey. Defining a sports delivery system. In Shilbury and Callett's Sports Management in Australia, we see Chapter 12 titled Alternative Models of Sport Delivery emphasise heavily on the importance of growth and development in non-mainstream sports. Whilst AFL is considered mainstream in Australia, it has some unique factors surrounding it that other sports don't offer, like its geographics of the southern states and the fact the game is only native to Australia. Harvey himself makes reference to the contributors, and whilst not in sports management terms, all sports delivery systems in the chapter 1989 to 1993. He explains that doubts were thrown his way at times and that it was the elite level of junior football that helped support his case in sustaining a regular senior position in the team. Page 308 to 309 in Shilbury and Callett's Sports Management in Australia talks about programs like the Australian Institute of Sport and state-based institutions. In relating this to Robert Harvey, it's the elite coaching from state teams and talent identification that provided Harvey more opportunities to explore and progress his AFL capabilities and potential. So what is a sports delivery system? I believe it is a function of involvement with clubs or associations that help the continuation of different sports. It's the messaging and engagement between athletes and sporting organisations. Sports delivery is the functionality of engagement between something like a football club president and its players. Sports delivery is always present in a club or organisation, whether on an elite scale like an AFL club such as St Kilda Football Club or an amateur club like the Seaford Tigers Football Club. From another perspective, David Shilbury's Sports Management Review, published in 2000, includes the chapter Considering Future Sport Delivery Systems, page 199 to 221. It discusses the importance of delivery systems for the long term and how they need to be incorporated in all ability levels of sport. The Australian Rules Football League, in which Harvey played 21 seasons in, is obviously the most influential sports association in his illustrious career. Analysing the AFL is difficult. Its enormity combined with its partnerships make the AFL extremely hard to specify. If we relate Harvey's journey and the time spent playing in the AFL, we can see a developing league. Its goal is to spread the game continuously throughout Australia and become more recognised on a global scale. Its sports delivery systems start at the very bottom with things like the Auskick program, junior football leagues, and teams in the TAC Cup, formerly the Teal Cup. State representative teams and the VFL, the North Eastern Australian Football League, the South Australian Football League, and the West Australian Football League. I feel that all four of these competitions are well worthy of a mention as they are the backbone of the AFL. Relating these leagues to Robert Harvey's career is difficult as he had very little to do with an affiliated VFL team whilst playing for St Kilda. It is important, however, to recognise the VFL's impact as a major sporting league in Australia. Something else I wanted to mention, in which Robert Harvey earned and was rewarded for in his playing efforts, is the International Rules Series. This is the form of a global sporting competition or series. A combination of soccer and Australian rules, the game of international rules serves as a way of the AFL and its delivery systems expanding across the world. I see this as a real positive from the AFL and believe it can be sustainable and continue to be an annual series in the AFL calendar in the future. Harvey makes reference to the State of Origin series as a great success and a vital part of our game in the chapter State of Origin, pages 137 to 147. To me, it's obvious that this sporting event was enjoyable and momentous to all players involved. Though I ask, what did it bring to the fanatics of the game? Certainly a sense of pride in cheering and representing your state throughout the series, but I believe the State of Origin needed to provide more as a sports delivery system. Personal reflection. I have always admired Robert Harvey's story. Playing his first match in 1988 at the raw age of 16, I believe it was his skill and fitness development that he had received from playing in the under-19s for 9 games and also in the reserve grade for 9 rounds that saw him make his debut in round 19 against Footscray. See the appendix, Strength Through Loyalty, for the statistics and details. It's certainly a matter of progression that saw Robert Harvey play a stellar career with St Kilda. The programs and systems that he was involved in assisted in the professionalism of Robert Harvey, along with the natural development of being an elite sports person. An illustrious career that included the 1997 and 1998 Brownlow medals, 4 best and fairest, 8 All-Australians, the 1997 MVP, and 3 E.J. Whitten medals, just to mention a few. He will be remembered as a legend of our game forever. In summary, the sports delivery systems that are present in the biography are stepping stones towards the elite stages of Australian sport. Robert Harvey's stages include junior competitions at Seaford, interleague squads, Teal Cup under-17s, Victorian country state teams, St Kilda under-19s, and of course the St Kilda seniors, as well as Victoria in the State of Origin and Australia in the International Rules Series. All of these are forms of sport delivery systems in terms of clubs, squads and associations. They all played an integral role in the development and growth of Robert Harvey. Looking towards the future, it's imperative that we continue to fund and support all forms of sports delivery systems, right through from the Auskick footballer to an AFL player. Why? So we can have more athletes that resemble a champion like Robert Harvey. I also wanted to reference Russell Holmesby, his Strength Through Loyalty limited edition from 2013, The Point of It All from 1992, and Heroes and Halos 1995. They were all cultural and structural resources for my presentation.